Hello, welcome to Womanhood Wednesday. My name is Traci Byerly, and I help women to create a confident, prosperous attitude about growing older so they can master the art of aging unapologetically. Welcome, my ladies. Today we have a special guest with us right here, right now. And I'm fired already because I was supposed to have this pulled up. Anyway, let me tell you about this wonderful napologist that we have. Her name is Catherine Peters. She is a certified professional coach and energy leadership master practitioner. She helps professional women who are killing it on the outside, but is killing them on the inside. Her relief roadmap guides women with burnout and health conditions or health challenges to design a career and a life that nourishes their body, mind, and soul. Give it up for my sister coach, Catherine Peters. Yay. And I just want to say to all of our users, there is a line that says that you'll need to click on it to give yourself permission to be on StreamYard so we can see your comments. It is super easy. Just click the button and it'll bring you right back in. Otherwise, we see hello, my lovelies, and we see hand claps, but we can't see who you are. So make sure you take some time to do that. All right. So without further ado, let's meet our nap whisperer,
Hi,
Catherine Peters. Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here today with you. And I was so excited when you asked me to join you and hold forth on the subject of rest this holiday, because I truly think it's so, so important. So thank you.
Yay. All right. So without further ado, let's just get right on into this. Why is rest so important?
Oh, gosh. I could talk about this for hours. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. And I really think is such an important topic for women, especially. I don't know about you, but I am familiar with the feeling of burning the candle at both ends. And I think as women, we're intimately familiar with that sensation because not only are we caretakers of children and spouses and aging parents and other family members, but more than likely, we're also working full time, building careers and trying to, hashtag have our best life, live our best life, which I think has ironically exhausted us all. This search for having it all has really depleted us. So I talk a lot about this with my clients, and I speak a lot about napping in particular because it's one of my favorite self-care methodologies because it's easy, it's free, it's available to everybody. Um, and in when I'm talking about napping, I talk about some of the health benefits of napping. And this really applies to rest in general. So, if there is one statistic that I want everybody watching us today to walk away with and remember, it is that 95% of all disease is stress related. And I'm going to repeat that because it blows me away. 95% of all disease is stress related. And this is according to the latest medical literature. And what that means is we actually have a lot of control over the disease process in our own bodies. So anything that we can do to reduce stress is going to increase our health, increase our longevity, and most importantly for us women, increase our ability to get stuff done.
Wow.
And we think that we have to do it all. the buck stops here kind of thing. But let's just consider the fact that really, when it comes to your health, that old adage that you hear on the airplane every time you fly, which is make sure you put your oxygen mask on first, then put it on your child, that holds true for us and everybody around us in our lives. We
Yeah.
can't serve them if we are not well. And stress is killing us. Stress is killing us. And one of the easiest things you can do to reduce stress in your life is get enough rest. And this is not only, this is not a pie in the sky wellness technique. This is like scientific literature abounds about the physiological processes that happen when we sleep. And really, the research into this has exploded over the last 10 to 20 years. And we continue to learn what's happening in our body when we actually sleep. And what happens is serotonin is increased, dopamine is increased. These are the feel good hormones. And more importantly, things like the stress hormones, cortisol actually decreases when we sleep. So your hormones actually start regulating and setting you up for stress reduction when you sleep. You can accomplish this in as little as a 20-minute nap. So again, napping being my favorite subject, like the health benefits that you will gift yourself and everybody around you are incomparable. For just 20 minutes a day, if you can take that 20-minute power nap, you're going to get so many health benefits. So the other thing that happens is you start making better decisions, because the prefrontal cortex is that front part of your brain that is involved in decision making. So I'm sure you've heard of this, Traci, and maybe many of our audience have. There's this thing called decision fatigue. And what
Yes.
happens, right? And like
Yes.
throughout the day, we're making decisions all the time, hundreds
Mhm.
of decisions.
Mm.
And those decisions have multiplied exponentially with the advent of email and voicemail and Facebook and Instagram. I mean, every time you look at your phone, you're faced with 10 decisions. Do I look at that notification? Do I open that email? Do I return that call? Do I return that text? So that by the afternoon, you're fried. Like, even if you're not physically tired, your brain is tired. And what happens then?
You checked out.
You're checked out. And
Mhm.
when you get yourself back in the game, you drink coffee or you eat sugar,
Yes.
right? And especially
Carbs,
this holiday
carbs,
season.
carbs, and more carbs.
Yes, and that sweet friend has dropped off their homemade Christmas cookies for you. Or like last year, it was homemade fudge showed up
Oh
on my
God.
doorstep. And all of a
Oh,
sudden, you get all the sweets and the treats for the holiday season at your beck and call. I mean, they're just sitting there. Not to mention the flippin' Halloween candy. Don't even get me
oh my
started.
gosh. We didn't go there.
I did. I had to throw away a huge half bag of candy.
I'm so glad I wasn't there. Would have been like, here, let me relieve you of that.
It was painful. It was painful. So we make poor decisions about how we get our energy back because we don't have the energy to make good decisions. 20-minute nap restores that prefrontal cortex, and you make better decisions when it comes to not just what you're putting in your body, like you make better nutrition choices, but you also are better able to get stuff done because you can think more clearly. You have more focus, you have more clarity. Your that prefrontal cortex is like, I'm going to do this and not that. I'm going to do this and then this and then this, and you prioritize. So let's talk about the third thing that happens in addition to your hormones regulating and your brain function getting better and better decision making. You have up to a 34% increase in productivity. from one
Wow.
20-minute nap. So this is for everybody who says, I don't have time. I have too much to do. I've got too much on my plate. I have too many commitments. So that rest really falls toward the bottom of the list. It's the first thing that goes. You're going to give yourself the gift of more time if you just give yourself that 20 minutes to rest. And in my case, I preach about the power of napping. You're going to get it back, threefold if you do that, or actually sixfold if you do that. You're going to gain another 1 to 2 hours in your day, so that if you really schedule it and stick to that daily rest practice, then by the end of the week, you're going to be shocked that you've gotten so much on your list done. So yeah, those are just a few reasons. Just a few reasons.
Wow. I have a question about napping later, but what I want to get to is permission to rest. Talk to us about that. Permission to rest.
This is why I feel like this is why I'm here on this planet. Um, because I'm on a mission to give people permission to rest and teach them how to do it. Because here's the deal. We suck at giving permission to ourselves.
Yes, we do.
We're horrible at it. And in fact, I'm reading a book about burnout. And I don't have the title with me, or I'd share it with our listeners. That talks about how when you are in burnout, you can't get yourself out of it. You need people outside you to help get you out of it. The same thing can hold true with rest. We are horrible at giving ourselves permission. And so we need others to give us permission. So I'm going to do that in a few ways today. The first is, you owe it to yourself, and what I just talked about, you owe it to yourself and your family in terms of your own health.
Yeah.
Put your oxygen mask on first so that you can continue to show up for your kids, for your spouse, for your parents, for your extended family, for your boss, for your coworkers. You can't do it if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's number one. Number two, especially if you're a woman of color, you owe it to your tribe to claim rest as a right, because historically you've been denied that right.
And it's
That
a
right
generation
has
curse.
been kept from you, and you owe it to yourself and your tribe. There's an Instagram called the Nap Ministry, and she's an African American woman who, that's her jam, is letting people of color know that you need to reclaim your right to rest. This is your right as a human being. So honor that and protect it. It's so valuable and it's so important.
Yeah.
So the third thing that I'm going to do to give people permission to rest is, if you're a person of faith, I'm going to talk about the Christian doctrine of rest. Graham Cook does an amazing sermon talk on the biblical the biblical, what would you call it, mandate, dictate to rest, and not just that God created the earth in six, and the heavens in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested, but like throughout scripture this is a repeated theme. The in the Jewish tradition, it is, if you are a Jew who has a very I forget what you call it, if you're
Traditional.
Orthodox. If you're an Orthodox Jew, you really honor this in very, very strict ways. And the definition of rest has been expanded so that you don't use electronics, and you don't do a lot, you don't operate machinery. I mean, there's a lot you don't do if you're an Orthodox Jew to really honor that period of rest. And I've, in my previous life as a meeting planner, I've worked with Orthodox Jewish organizations. And as a Gentile, let me tell you, it's really weird when on a Saturday in the middle of a conference, you can't text
Oh,
with people on your team because they're not on their phones. But think about that. Think about that. Like an entire day where you don't look at your phone. Like
rest.
electronics are not available to you. So if you are a person with a strong faith, look to your faith for permission to rest, because I promise you it is there, because it is in so many different traditions.
It is.
So those are three different ways that I want to give our audience today permission to rest. It's just so important.
Oh, wow. We have Sister Ingra on watching, by the way.
Oh,
She's, I know she's cheering. Graham Cook, yes. All right. So, what kind of rest do you need?
I'm going to plug somebody else's work here. If you haven't already, go buy this book.
Whoa! Yes!
Sandra
Excellent.
Dalton Smith.
Yes!
Uh, she's written a book called Sacred Rest.
Wonderful book.
And in the book, she actually has a link to a quiz that you can take to discover what kind of rest that you need. Because what I talk about is physical rest. I talk about napping, and I talk about like nighttime sleep. And both of those things are incredibly, incredibly important. But we all have different ways that we need rest. And for example, a client of mine fills herself up, replenishes that energy store by going and taking a walk outside. So, one way that you can rest is by being out in nature. Like maybe that's how you need to refill your tank and
Hold on.
breathe deeply.
Hold on. All right, my Wednesday womanhood women. Does this not sound familiar? Listen to this woman. It's not just coming from me. You have somebody else backing this up. Go ahead, Kat.
Okay, so but Dr. Dalton Smith, she talks about spiritual rest. And this is like really having a higher power that you're connected to, and any practice that deepens that relationship, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, maybe it's journaling. So there are different ways that you can refill your tank. She has 7 different ones, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Those are a couple of my favorite, like physical rest, spiritual rest, getting out in nature. Oh, spending time with community. So spending time, like maybe it's social rest. Maybe you need to go play with your tribe, and maybe that's what fills up your tank. But what I talk to my clients about over and over and over again, an easy way to figure this out is what replenishes your energy and what drains you.
Yes.
Anything that replenishes your energy can be considered rest. So you really need to figure out, become aware of your own body, become aware of your own physicality, and when are you drained? And what were you doing right before that? So, and it could be a couple of different kinds of things that you're really needing. And so this holiday season, I know it's so easy to have so much going on. This thing needs to be at the top of that priority list because it's going to help all the other things. It's going to help you enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy sinking into the beauty of the holiday season. like allow you to experience it instead of being just so physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted that you're kind of a zombie and you're not taking it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is some good stuff. Got one last question for you. What's keeping people from resting?
Okay. This is a great question. I'm going to talk about this in terms of napping because, again, that's kind of my go-to form of rest, especially when I'm talking to people who have no idea where to start. Like that can just be the easiest place to start. Um, it's so much of the time we can talk about logistics, like I don't have enough time, but a lot of times that's a belief, right? The belief is I don't have enough time, and what you may have is a belief in time poverty. And so what you know this as a coach, right, Traci? What we believe grows. What we believe is what we experience. So if you feel like I don't have enough time, that's true for you. You don't have enough time.
It
Um,
manifests.
yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
And what happens is we fill up whatever time we do have, and you pick what you prioritize. So there may be a belief I don't have enough time. There may be a belief that I don't deserve it. And there may be a belief, and this one is really common, is that I have to earn it.
Mm-mm.
Ugh. There may be a belief that I'm only valuable when I'm productive. There may be a belief that things are going to fall apart if I'm not there to take care of them. And so many of these beliefs come back down to a core belief of I'm not enough,
Ooh.
or I don't love myself,
Mm. Mm.
or maybe it's around safety, like it's not safe for me to close my eyes. And if you actually have trauma in your past, like maybe you've been a victim of a violent crime,
Mhm.
or rape, which we know happens to 1/3 of all women, it's hard for you to let that sympathetic nervous system calm down and let the parasympathetic nervous system take over enough to allow you to close your eyes and feel safe.
Mm.
So, what I say is figure out what your own nap story is or your own rest story. And what I also say is it can be really hard to do on your own. What I liken it to is trying to clean your closet out with a blindfold on. Like you don't even know what those hidden beliefs are. And
Yeah.
that, Traci, that's, as you know, that is one of the huge benefits of working with a coach.
Amen.
And I know because I'm a coach and it happens to me all the time when I work with my coach, and she'll be like, did you just hear yourself? And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that.
Coaches need coaches.
Coaches and coaches.
We need
And
coaches.
excellent coaches have excellent coaches. That's another one I like. Okay, so but you're not everybody has the resources, or not everybody wants to work with a coach. So there's a couple of things that a couple of standard kind of mantras that I'll leave our audience with. And one is um, no one needs me right now.
Mm.
And that means the world will not end
Thank
if
you.
I take this 15 or 20 minutes out. No one needs me right now. Your kids aren't going to starve. You know, your spouse isn't going to be lost. Um, for those 20 minutes, the world will not end. No one needs me right now. The next one is if you're trying to nap, I'm just going to shut my eye. I'm just going to rest my eyes. Don't put an expectation that you have to fall asleep for X number of minutes in order for this to be a valuable exercise. Because the truth is, even if you just close your eyes for 20 minutes and allow your eyes to rest, you're going to get so many of those health benefits. And you don't want to set yourself up to be stressed about failing at it. So
That would be
knowing,
me.
right? Me too. Me too. No one needs me right now. I'm just going to rest my eyes. And finally, and I want to close with this. I got to get my phone because I can't find the quote in the book. One of my favorite books lately is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And I love, there's this part in the book where she is really annoyed that her partner is lazy, like hanging out on the couch in the middle of the day. Now, her partner here, my timer just ran down, so let me dismiss that.
You're
Sorry
good.
for the beat. Her partner is, a type A, very accomplished, go-getting individual, but she's so triggered by the fact that her partner is sitting on the couch relaxing in the middle of the day, and she thinks to herself, must be nice to rest in the middle of the damn day. Must be nice to feel worthy of the space you take up on the earth without hustling to earn it every minute. Must be nice to rest and still feel worthy too. I don't know about you, but that hit home for me. That really hit home for me.
Selah, think on that. We
Mhm.
have a question for you. Have you ever heard of harnessing rest?
No, I haven't. Oh my gosh. There's a term I haven't heard of about rest. I'm gonna have to go look this up. Harnessing rest.
Yes. Yes. And if not, I'm so loving our conversation that we may have to have a part two on this.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Because what we didn't like in terms of the napping, which again is such an easy go-to, we didn't talk about like setting yourself up for success logistically on how to nap. And there are some tips and tricks to make that easier if you're if our audience is struggling with that. If you're not struggling with that, go forth and nap, please. Give yourself the gift of rest.
One thing that I struggle with though, and you can help me as a napologist, nap whisperer, and I'm opening myself up. If I take a short nap, I wake up chest hurting, angry. But I found if I,
Ooh.
oh gosh, it just, I feel terrible. And it can be anywhere between maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh, that's why.
I've really never tried a 20-minute nap. It's already hard enough for me to fall asleep unless I'm just like the last few days I've been catching a healing. And
Mm,
so I probably could have gone somewhere passed out, but you really helped with just close your eyes and no expectations. But the
mhm,
flip side of that is because I'm already extremely nocturnal. If
mm.
I take that nap, oh, I'm up for the rest of the night. Just-
All right, so we're going to talk about in part two about how to time it, when to nap, what to make sure that you do so that you're not disturbing your nighttime sleep. But for now, especially for you, Traci, keep it at 20 minutes, no longer, no more than 20 minutes. Unless it's a weekend and you have an hour and a half. Those are your two windows, 20 minutes or an hour and a half, nothing in between.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And yes, I think what we might do is put up a poll with the certain things because we're going to have you back. This
Okay,
is
yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is amazing. So before you go, let me see here. I'm going to put it all on you. Wait, put it all on you. Let's try this again. No, wrong way. I'll get it right. Hold on.
Where's
Oh,
Frederick when you need him?
I know, right? Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. No, I'm still putting it all on me. Here, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, I got it right now. What are the last words that you want to say to our listeners today?
Mm, just love yourself up. Give yourself permission to rest. If you'd like to connect with me, I'm at Cat the Coach on Instagram. Um, and yeah, I'm also happy to send you an audio if you want to DM me. I can send you my 5 to 7 minute nap meditation to kind of get that sympathetic nervous system calmed down.
Awesome. And as you all can see, this is all of her contact info at the bottom. And she is also a part of our Prosperous Pro Aging Women's Group. So if you have any questions, please make sure, hold on, let me get us both in there. Hang on. There we are. Be sure and DM her or comments, and she will answer back. And also, Kat, for those books that you referenced, you can go ahead and pop those in the comments later on as well too.
Absolutely, I will do that.
All right, so we're going to look forward to having another time together. Thank you so much. This has been a blast, and I know we have so much more to learn from you.
Thank you, Traci. I love what you're up to. I love the community you've created, and I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you. So, to everyone, stay tuned to True to You. Oh, the time has changed. Whoops. Let me get that right. We got to get the time right. It is at 1:30. I forgot about that. Sorry, y'all. Let me just fix that RAT now. But the time is at 1:30 Central Time. Let me get that time right so y'all can look at it. All right. There we go. Stay tuned for True to You Tuesdays next week, Tuesday, 1:30 in the afternoon. And until next time, smooches.